Right.
I know, and it's June, Jason. This
I know.
Is usually,
I thought this was May.
I know. Usually the weather department's sleeping right now. I mean, just taking a nap, but that's not the case this June.
Right.
And this evening we are in for some more active weather. Right now, I believe the Dallas-Fort Worth area, the immediate DFW area, probably between about 8 and midnight. So it get a little noisy.
And storms are already firing out there too.
Yes. We have a line that's starting to fill in on the radar. First off, let me bring you up to speed. If you're just tuning in and you're going, whoa, what's going on? I hope that's not the case because we've been advertising these storms for a while, but just in case, there you go. Severe thunderstorm watch out for the Dallas-Fort Worth area as well as the northwestern parts of North Texas until 10 o'clock tonight. So again, we are looking at the potential of some strong to severe thunderstorms as we head through tonight. And as Jason mentioned, there's that line that's already developing and has been filling in over the last hour or so from Abilene all the way up to Seymour, Archer City, and then up across the Red River. And these storms are warned due to wind. That's going to be my main concern as we head through tonight, just because the nature of how they're forming. It's just going to be a squall line that rolls across, and that does lend itself to damaging winds. However, we're not going to rule out some large hail and also a low tornado threat, especially if any storms can become discrete, meaning they break off of that main line and then they got all the storm fuel to themselves, and those can be good tornado producers. But again, our main concern, damaging wind. Here's a look. We do have that enhanced risk out for the Dallas-Fort Worth area tonight, and then a slight risk as we move down to our south. So as these storms near North Texas as well as the DFW area, we do expect some strong to severe ones. For the record, 94 today. The low this morning, only 81. That's all we made it to, North Texas. So if you're feeling like, or it kind of feels like summer outside, well, I mean, it is summer now, but I mean, look at this. If you're not seeing the storms right now, I know we had a little bit of extra activity earlier today, but some folks didn't see any of that either. Feels like 103, so the heat index is sky high and will continue that way as we head through your evening for your Sunday evening. So there you go. Storms are firing up to our northwest, and then as I fast forward through time in the next hour and a half or so as we head into about 7 o'clock. Showers and thunderstorms still to the west of Dallas-Fort Worth. So I do not expect anything in Dallas-Fort Worth until at least after 7 or 8 o'clock tonight. So we're not expecting activity just yet. You're going to have to wait just a bit. But there's those storms as they start to fire up just around Bowie, down through Graham, down through Breckenridge, also Abilene. And then this line continues to move east by 8 o'clock, starting to knock on the door just to our northwest here. So there's Denton starting to see some storms, as well as maybe the western parts of Tarrant County. And again, those will be where those strong storms can be possible. Damaging winds, large hail, can't rule out a few tornadoes. And then here in this orange shaded area, right around Decatur down through Breckenridge where those storms are, that's where I expect a little more severe activity. And then 8 o'clock on into 9 o'clock, they start to move into the heart of Dallas-Fort Worth. So it's going to get noisy, not only some damaging wind, but of course a lot of lightning and thunder and heavy rain. Flash flooding may be an issue if these storms continue to be good rainfall producers. And then by 10 o'clock, slowly starting to exit the eastern side of Dallas-Fort Worth, and then by 11 midnight this starts to move into our southeastern counties and will start to dry out in the immediate metroplex. But before then, 8 to midnight, strong storms are possible in the yellow shaded area, and then severe storms more likely here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and also up to the northeast. So again, we're looking at wind, hail, as well as the potential of a few isolated tornadoes, and then we'll have to add in flash flooding as we head through tonight. Now after that, midnight into about 4 o'clock in the morning, could see a few lingering showers and storms. Strong storms mainly down to our southeast, and that's where it stays as we head into daybreak tomorrow. But again, any storms that start to appear over the same areas, any training thunderstorms there, that's just one after another. That's where we would have that risk for some flash flooding in areas, especially after midnight and in our southeastern counties where these storms kind of linger a bit, and they could still have a little bit of strong winds as they move into areas around Waco and also to our southeast. But the Dallas-Fort Worth area starts to clear up. So tonight, storms before midnight, mainly for Dallas-Fort Worth. So after about midnight, we should be clear. Severe storms possible. We do have that severe thunderstorm watch in effect. 69 degrees tonight. Then as we head through tomorrow, a high of 88, so a little bit cooler, at least for this time of the year. And then some scattered storms may actually redevelop tomorrow afternoon as well. We're going to have to be watching that. It's a little conditional, but we could see some, especially to the west of Dallas-Fort Worth on Monday, but not nearly the coverage of storms that we are going to see tonight will happen on Monday. Then after that, some lingering storm chances Tuesday and Wednesday, and then it looks like, oh gosh, Jason, looks like a little bit of a ridge comes in. That's a big ridge of high pressure. You know what that means. Sunshine and drier weather as we head through the end of this week and for the start of next weekend. But unfortunately with that, temperatures do start to go up, but I think I'm done with the rain. But in the meantime, you can download our WFAA app. I know it's Sunday night. Folks have a lot of plans going on. We'll be here in the Weather Center monitoring everything. You can always get all your information straight to your phone.
And you know, in the last couple of Sundays, we heard from a lot of people, the app was really useful when the power went out. They could just go right there to their app and see what was going on immediately on their phone.
Yes, not even just that you may be out and about, but yes, if your power goes out, that's a good tool. So make sure to have that cell phone charged tonight and ready to go, because that'll be a great tool for you if severe weather happens in your neighborhood.
All right, we'll be here all night. Back in just a moment, though.